All right, welcome to the second sports section podcast of the year. Last time we did the college football playoffs. This time we're doing the NFL playoffs. My name is Lucas de Lima. I am the managing editor and a sports writer for the Redwood Gigantea.
My name is Ryan Harris. I'm a sports editor and writer for the Gigantea.
I'm Jake Villarreal. I am a sports writer for Gigantea.
I'm Fiona Gano. I am a sports writer for Redwood Gigantea.
All right, let's just get right into it. And the first wild card game that was played on Saturday afternoon, early afternoon, was the Houston Texans, number 4 seed Houston Texans, beating the number 5 seed Los Angeles Chargers, 32-12 in Houston. I'm gonna just give it straight to you, Ryan.
We should just let Ryan speak the entirety.
Let's speak. Let it out, and then we'll say our takes.
Yeah.
Well, first off, we did a lot more than what we were expected to this season. A lot of NFL analysis said we were only gonna win a top of 8 games. Brand new set of coaches. We've released so many players, and we ended up winning 11 games, which exceeded my expectations and millions of fans across the NFL. So I'm just happy we made it this far into this season. I wasn't expecting much from the playoffs. I was expecting to lose in the first or second round, but in that embarrassing matter, no, that was a horrible. Oh my god, horrible game to watch. Horrible time to watch the Chargers and be a fan. So yeah.
I just want to get this one stat in there that I think will sum it up for you. We know that Justin Herbert, Chargers QB, had 3 interceptions the whole entire season, and he had 4 in that one game against the Texans. Even though one of those picks wasn't his fault, came right out of Will
the other 3 weren't his fault,
but the other 3 were probably his fault.
Yeah.
So, rough go for the Chargers.
This was, as much as I want to say that, with all the drop passes and the Chargers defense not playing well, this loss is on Justin Herbert. I fully blame this loss on Justin Herbert. He threw those 4 interceptions are inexcusable. You can't just go into your second ever playoff game and throw 4 picks, and you are like they were favored by like 5 or 7, I think, in betting metrics. So that was inexcusable by Justin Herbert. And even though only Ladd McConkey was his only real receiver during that game.
He played great.
Yes.
The year. He tied the rookie record for yards in the game. He had 198 yards and 1 touchdown. People want to sleep on him because of LA. People don't like the Chargers. He was playing as one of the top rookie wide receivers in the draft class. Him and Justin Herbert are going to be threats for years. Look at my shirt. Everybody else on our team are bums. We have actually 3 NFL players, or 3 players on wearing that uniform that actually will care about the game. I'll name them: Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey, and Derwin James. Everybody else just wants to be there for money. That's the problem we have with our team.
Fabian, your thoughts?
I really expected more. I expected this game to be closer. I felt like I expected more from the Chargers this season because Harbaugh came in like what he did with the 49ers his first year. Took him to the AFC Championship game. I didn't expect the Chargers to go that far, but at least like into the divisional, but I expected just more, to be honest.
I mean, I picked the Chargers to win that game. I thought they could do it in Houston, but they couldn't. All right, second game of the wild card that we saw, another AFC matchup, was the Baltimore Ravens beating the Pittsburgh Steelers at home 28-14. AFC North rivalry matchup. That was the 3rd time they faced this season. Ravens won 2, Steelers won 1. Derrick Henry is a dog, absolute dog. He had, let's see, 186 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. He played great. Steelers couldn't stop him.
Derrick Henry he still got it. He still got it.
Yeah. Everyone talking about Saquon Barkley, but don't forget Derrick Henry. He had a great year.
Yes. Well, Saquon Barkley we'll get into later. We'll get into Saquon Barkley later.
All right.
Yeah. The Ravens-Steelers matchup is one that I always look forward to when I see it on TV. I love watching them play against each other because it's always a great game. This playoff game really just showed how the Ravens are a team that no one wants to play, even though they lost against the Bills, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, even though they lost against the Bills, they're going to be a team that's going to be a threat for years to come. Lamar Jackson, one of the MVP candidates, he's at the top of his game right now. This is an exciting team to watch, so be careful.
Yeah.
For me, I'm honestly going to be a little bit of a hater here. I expected way more in this game for the Ravens just because of the fact that this has been happening to the Steelers for years now. 10-7, first round exit. 10-7, first round exit.
Haven't won a playoff game since the 2016 season.
Yes. And I know that Derrick Henry is a dog. Derrick Henry is a dog, but let's not forget that Lamar Jackson is not. Even if they won this game, even in the later round of the divisional round, Lamar hasn't been getting it done. It's not. I know it's almost completely underrated. I'm just going to say this. I think that if Lamar Jackson does not get a, even a Super Bowl appearance, I think that the Ravens should. I'm going to be a full-on hot take here. I think that if Lamar Jackson does not get a Super Bowl appearance within the next 5 or 6 years, I think gone from the Ravens.
Yeah,
fully.
He'll be gone by
yes,
then, for sure.
And Russell Wilson was not cooking. He was dog. He was not good. Only George Pickens was the only one that looked decent out there. And literally his biggest play of the night got called back by a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And all I was seeing was penalties all night against the Steelers offensive line. It wasn't the score might make it seem bad, and it was right. It was bad. And both Steelers touchdowns were at the end of the second half, and it looked like they were back in it, but after that, it just rolled over and died.
If I'm a Steelers fan, I'm incredibly disappointed. I mean, you start off the season strong, 3-0, but then you end off with 7 losses. Also, they've been really inconsistent. Like, yeah, the coach has not had a losing record with the team, but they haven't really made far in the playoffs. So I think this could call for a change in coaching, quite possibly.
I agree. They should fire Mike Tomlin. No playoff wins since 2016 says it all. That's it.
I strongly disagree with firing Mike Tomlin.
Why?
He's almost statistically one of the better coaches of the 21st
But playoffs is
century.
the only thing that
Okay,
matters.
Ryan, I'm gonna say stats when you aren't winning games, stats don't matter if you're not winning in those moments. The stat that they don't. If you have those stats, then yeah, they'll say that you've done it. But if they look at your record and all those stats and only those amount of wins, no, he needs to be fired.
Lamar Jackson only has 3 playoff wins in his whole
I
career.
think he's 3-5 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that say about him? He's an MVP
Where's
candidate.
more playoff wins?
No,
since
Ryan.
2016
We're
than
talking
Mike
about
Tomlin.
regular
Yeah.
season.
Franchise.
Ryan, it's
Still.
still regular season still counts. Regular season still counts.
It does
Ryan.
count.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. No more Steelers Ravens talk. Next game, blowout win by the Bills over the Broncos, 31-7, in Buffalo, at Highmark Stadium. Yeah, I knew this would be the worst game of the entire wild card round. Broncos barely squeezed in there, made over the Bengals. If the Bengals were here, it would have been a much better game. Yeah, the quality of the Bills overtook the Broncos in a heavily Bills favorite environment.
Yes. Also, I disagree with you on the Bengals. They would have gotten just as destroyed as the Broncos were.
A 24-point loss?
Yeah. Even more, honestly, because that Bengals defense isn't good. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We would have seen a higher scoring game.
Absolutely.
We would have seen a higher scoring game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Because Bo Nix isn't that guy yet. No, I don't believe in him. Well, it's the AFC West hatred towards the Broncos, but I don't think he's that guy yet. They still have room to improve. Sean Payton is, I don't think he's used to QB like Bo Nix and his kind of play style. He's used to Drew Brees and his just sit back in the pocket and just throw it rather than a mobile QB. That's why he didn't succeed with really. Drew Lock was it? Drew Lock didn't really succeed in
Before
his
Knicks,
system.
Bo Nix went 13 for 22 for 144 yards and a touchdown. And he was also the leading rusher of the Broncos that game with 4 rushes for 43 yards. So, I mean,
it was boring. It was a boring game.
He is, not much for the Broncos offense.
They started off strong, to be honest. Opening
Yeah,
drive.
that
opening
touchdown.
drive touchdown.
With that touchdown,
7-0.
I genuinely thought that they had a chance to win the game. Like I'm watching. I'm like, they could win. They could win, but then
Couldn't keep him in.
just.
All right, next wildcard game. So this one hurts. The Philadelphia Eagles, number 2 seed Eagles, beating the number 7 seed Green Bay Packers, 22-10 in Philadelphia. So it was 22-10, right?
Yes.
And it was a one possession game with
go
8
on,
minutes
go
left
on.
in the fourth quarter, 16-10. And if the Packers got more yards than the Eagles, 402 versus 390. The Packers had more first downs than the Eagles, 17-16. But the Packers had 4 turnovers, that opening kickoff fumble, which should have been a targeting, and the 3 picks thrown by Jordan Love. And the Eagles had 0 turnovers. Honestly, if we limited those mistakes, if we had 0 turnovers, we'd have won the game.
No, I still think
I'm
you
still proud of
guys would have still lost.
I'm still proud of my team. Trust the process. We'll be back. Jordan Love is still a solid QB. I trust in him. And next season, we have to win a playoff game at least, or else I will start to be more concerned. But as of right now, it's whatever. Eagles are a good team. We limited Saquon didn't score a touchdown on us, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, that one hurt.
Yeah.
Personally, I've never liked the Eagles. I've always just been a fan of AJ Brown ever since he was in Tennessee. I've always found more like favor towards him. So whenever I watch the Eagles, I'm always watching AJ Brown because he's just I just like watching him. So yeah.
For me, it was just also honestly a forgettable game. Even if Lucas keeps glazing the Packers turnovers that wasn't a Packers mistake, and that
It was. I'm saying if we didn't have those mistakes, then we would have won the game.
I disagree. You guys would have still lost.
In all honesty, I think Packers could have won the game because the Eagles honestly did not play well.
They didn't dominate us at all. It could have been a lot worse to score, and we kept it close. So go Pack go. Next wildcard game was the Washington Commanders upsetting the number 3 seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23-10 in Tampa Bay. This is a good game. This is a close game. Commanders went on a walk-off field goal that doinked in, right?
Yeah,
that was very lucky.
crazy.
Yes.
Jane Daniels rookie year gets a playoff win.
Jaden Daniels is him. I just like to take the word out there that Jaden Daniels is a top 5 QB in the league. He's better than Justin Herbert. He's better than Jalen Hurts. Jaden Daniels is him. Terry McLaurin has also been him. I'm so glad that Terry McLaurin actually has a quarterback now. I'm so glad he has a quarterback now. That was one of my favorite players in the NFC when I'm not watching the Raiders. And also, Lucas, I wouldn't say that it was a upset considering that. I think Washington...
The number 6 seed beat the number 3 seed. It's crazy.
But it was a good game. It was a good game. Baker, I think that Baker actually played well. And honestly, only Baker's like the real Bucks highlight from this. Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game.
I strongly disagree with what Jake just said. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are a Cinderella story. They will not be back next year. I'm willing to bet $1,000 on that. They will not be nowhere near the divisional round next year.
This is going on.
Jaden Daniels is not better than Justin Herbert. Well, if you compare their 2 stats from the regular season, Justin Herbert is better. I don't care about no playoff statistic. We're talking about regular season. That's all 17 games. That's an even matchup. And in fact, Justin Herbert missed week 1 and he broke records. I don't care about this Jaden Daniels hype. Yeah, he's good, but he's not being back next year. Count on it. I count on it.
Right. You know this is going on the internet, right?
I do, and that's why I'm saying it. Look at the camera. They will not be back maybe to the divisional round, but they will not be back in the NFC Championship.
Jaden Daniels has a sensational season. I'd like to strongly disagree with that. I think he is their franchise QB for a long time.
Yeah, he is.
I think he will be the franchise QB for a long time. But the Commanders definitely overachieved in their first season with Daniels as a starter. I think even just making the playoffs, I would have been happy as a Commanders fan. Making it to the NFC Championship game, which we'll get to later, is a big achievement. And yeah, next season I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make the NFC Championship game or even the divisional.
I don't disagree with you. And also,
Cinderella story.
I'm gonna say,
Oakland in March Madness last year. They're a Cinderella story. They had that guy. I mean, Jaden Daniels, he's a great QB. He's just
he's him.
He's not going back next year. He's not going back next year. He will not.
I will say, Jaden
I'm willing to bet anybody any money that they will not be in the NFC Championship next year. Any amount of money, I don't care.
Got it.
Okay. Right. Also, I just want to add that I'm very sad that Jaden Daniels is getting Rookie of the Year, considering I'm a Raiders fan, and I hope Brock Bowers would get it. But
Brock Bowers would get an honorable mention.
Nah,
that's all the Raiders are gonna get.
Brock Bowers deserves it.
Yeah, I do think Brock Bowers deserves it. Jaden Daniels is top 5.
Last wildcard game. Was the Los Angeles Rams playing in Arizona, beating the Minnesota Vikings 27-9. I think this game absolutely exposed the Vikings and Sam Darnold. Biggest frauds in the NFL this year.
New York Jets Sam Darnold was out there for the Vikings. Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk are them. They are a dangerous duo. And you got to give respect to the Rams coaching staff. They are a coaching staff team. They will find players in like the 5th, 4th round. Like at least half their secondary was like 5th or 4th rounders, even undrafted
A lot of
free
undrafted
agents.
free agents. Yeah.
Only
that
Jared
defense.
Verse was like the only player on that defense with like that was in like the top two rounds. So, I'm very impressed by the Rams season. Jared Verse, defensive rookie of the year. Brandon Fisk, a very close second. Matthew Stafford still got it. He's like 36, like 37, I think. And he still got it. He has Puka Nacua, one of the best young wide receivers in football. Cooper Kupp, he still got it. The Rams offensive line, Matthew Stafford wasn't even. I think only Matthew Stafford only got sacked. Or I don't even think he got sacked that night against the Vikings. And the Vikings were just frauds. Justin Jefferson had 68 yards. I think he was literally like the highest receiver on that Vikings team with the most yards. So it was bad. The Vikings got exposed. Sam Darnold is not like that.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the Vikings season 2 years ago where they had all that hype during the season and they got beat by the Giants. It kind of reminds me of that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Very similar.
100%.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Moving on to the divisional round, the first game of the divisional round. The Kansas City Chiefs, who number 1 seed in the AFC, beating the number 4 Houston Texans 23-14 at Arrowhead. Chiefs deserve to win this game, albeit with the 2 questionable calls. I think, the Chiefs played better, but those questionable calls really makes you think.
It was pretty questionable. Yeah. Nico Collins is also like that. Actually, I'm saying a lot of these guys are like that because they've been going absolutely crazy. Nico Collins is the best player on that Texans team, and definitely that C.J. Stroud sophomore slump definitely had an impact in this game.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Throughout the season, actually, too.
Yeah.
Throughout
Throughout the
as a
season,
whole.
yeah. And they just looked outmatched in this game. Andy Reid is, I hate saying this, but he's a genius. He is, I think I would arguably say he's the best coach in football, but that's very, very, very debatable.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to give my MVP for this game, which is referee Clay Martin and his crew for having the Chiefs this win.
Nice.
Wonderful acting.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
how does this deserve an Oscar?
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. But at times it was the Chiefs coaching. They're a good unit.
I mean, the Chiefs are a good team. I'm not going to deny that, but there's a lot of calls I've seen in my lifetime of being a Charger fan. I played the Chiefs 2 times a year. I got to see it firsthand this last season when the Chiefs came to LA. When you really look down and like analyze what's going down on the field, there's so many missed holding calls, missed PIs. I'm not just saying this as a Charger fan bias. Even if I was a Chiefs fan, I'll be like, oh, that's questionable. And there was Chiefs fans sitting behind me that were like, yeah, that should have been called. Like, their own fans are starting to come to a realization that they're getting kind of bailed out. And I say it's all because of marketing. The Chiefs are a marketable team. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, they bring in so much attention. That's why they want to keep them playing. It's because of marketing. I'll stand by that until I die.
Yeah, I would say I'm also standing by that until I die too. I would stand by that until I die too. Also, I just want to say that Travis Kelce is absolutely washed. He is not like that anymore. Brock Bowers absolutely clears
Travis
him.
Kelce had 7 receptions for 117 yards and a touchdown in the game against the
I
Texans.
don't care. I don't care. I will say that until I die as well.
Yeah.
The next divisional round game was another upset by the Commanders, 45-31. Their win over the Detroit Lions, number 1. I think this was the Lions were the last NFC North team to be playing in the playoffs, and they got exposed as well.
No, I don't think they got exposed. The
I think
Commanders are literally just like that. Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is him. I don't care what you say, Ryan. Jaden Daniels is top 5. I will stand by that for the rest. Unless I get proven wrong, I will say that Jaden Daniels is top 5.
All right. Here, I'm going to go off subject. Here's 5 better. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson.
All right.
You seriously said that Jalen Hurts is better than Jaden Daniels?
Yes. Do you agree?
I agree.
Good joke.
Yeah, nice joke there, Ryan. This game,
Look at what Jalen Hurts just did to Jaden Daniels. All I'm gonna say.
We'll get to that game if we stop arguing.
Yeah.
All right, come on.
I'll say that Jared Goff was also not like that this game. I'm gonna say Jared Goff is now on fraud watch. I was gonna say that if the Lions won this. Well, obviously, I wasn't gonna say that, but right now he is on fraud watch, absolute fraud watch.
Wait, who? Sorry.
Jared Goff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jared Goff was on fraud watch.
Jared Goff had a 58% completion percentage in this game and 3 interceptions. I don't think the Lions can win the Super Bowl with Jared Goff as their quarterback in this game.
1,000%. I agree.
1,000%.
They have the wide receivers. They have the running backs. They have the O-line. They have the defense. Although they played without what's his name? Hutchinson. They have
Aiden
Kirby
Hutchinson.
Joseph. Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson. They have all the tools. They have the coaching. They have all the tools. They have the fan base. They have all the tools to win the Super Bowl. Jared Goff is the problem. I've always liked him, but he's a problem. He needs to get out there. They could win the Super Bowl next year if they find a good QB.
Jaden Daniels is still in that conference though.
Lions defense never really gave their team a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Commanders never took their foot off the gas pedal. Jaden Daniels was just composed the whole game, acting like it's 0-0, just never stopping.
In another away playoff game. Very impressive for the rookie quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah, it was impressive. Like, sorry to interrupt you. I'm not denying that Jaden Daniels is a great QB. He did a lot of great stuff this year. I'm just not for the top 5 talk yet.
Yeah, because you're not ready for that. You're not ready.
Next game of the divisional round was the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Los Angeles Rams in Philadelphia, 28-22. This was another kind of close game. Rams scored a touchdown late to make it a 1-possession game. But the Eagles get another win in unconvincing fashion.
Yes, very unconvincing fashion.
Jalen Hurts went 15 for 20 for 128 yards. Saquon was the real star.
Yeah. Saquon is him.
touchdowns.
That's the only reason the Eagles won the game. I will stand by that. If Saquon wasn't there, the Eagles would have lost. The Rams look really good this game, even in that snow. So, I will die on that. I say that Saquon Barkley elevates Jalen Hurts, and he makes Jalen Hurts look good.
Well, Saquon, he's one of those players that just impacts the game on another level on a consistent basis. He finished. He's going to the Super Bowl with 7 touchdowns. That had over 60 yards. So he's a very impactful player to the game. He really sets the tone. He
Very
did
explosive.
that. Yeah, very explosive. He set the tone. In just about every time I've watched them play. In the Commanders game, his first carry was 67 yarder.
67-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and that's when you really could tell this game is gonna be all Saquon, and it kind of was.
I won't disagree with you on that.
Last game of the divisional round was the Buffalo Bills beating the Baltimore Ravens 27-25. This game was
Interesting.
It was
Interesting,
amazing.
very
down to the wire. Mark Andrews dropping the 2-point conversion.
Mark Andrews, I felt bad. I felt bad for Mark Andrews.
He's getting a lot of the slack, but that guy is top 3 tight end in the league. He's been very consistent for a long time. Ryan, want to chime in?
Yeah, I think Mark Andrews has lost his spark. Isaiah Likely is
the brand new Ravens tight end one.
Is the brand new Ravens tight end one. He plays like a wide receiver. He goes up and catches the ball. Week 1, you could see that he's ready to make a play, and he's proved that every time he goes in. It's time for the Ravens to move on from Mark Andrews and look in the future with Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely has proven to be better than Mark Andrews in a lot of different situations. So, yeah.
Lamar Jackson cost his team. I felt like he had that interception in the first quarter, and that fumble that was returned by Von Miller. So I felt like they shouldn't have been in this situation in the first place.
Yeah,
They would have played clean football.
Yeah, I agree with you. This one was Lamar Jackson's fault. How many times that we've defended Lamar Jackson? I just think he's not worthy of that defending anymore. I think that this was all his fault. I think he could have done a lot more, even if in a really tough environment to play in. He should have been more composed. He looked less composed than Jaden Daniels. So,
and he didn't make it to the conference championship game. And that first game was the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Washington Commanders, destroying the Washington Commanders 55-23. First convincing win of the Eagles for the playoffs.
Saquon Barkley is. I'm just say that I'm not going to say anything about this game other than that Saquon Barkley might be MVP. I'm not going to say anything else.
Absolutely.
Do you have something to say?
They just dominated. I expected less from the Eagles, to be honest, because they haven't been playing their game that well. But They just dominated completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just have to say this. This game proved to me that the Commanders are not ready for that high caliber of football yet. Getting destroyed by the Eagles in the NFC Conference Championship. You have to be ready to go into one of the hardest environments to play and go in and win. And they've proven to do that, but they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it in Philadelphia.
They couldn't do it in Philadelphia. The fans got to them, the environment, the cold, and Saquon might be the reason why the Eagles won the Super Bowl this season.
I'm also going to say right now, I know I said I wasn't going to talk, but I'm just backtracking on one of Ryan's comments. It's literally colder in Washington than it was in Philadelphia during that game. I'm just say that.
You know where else was cold? Kansas City.
Yeah,
where the
cold.
Buffalo Bills fell to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, 32-29. Less questionable calls, or maybe the same amount of questionable calls in this game. The Chiefs, I think, still deserved to win this game. Bills couldn't get it done in the fourth quarter. The Bills just can't get over the hump of the Chiefs in the playoffs. It's amazing.
They kind of dug themselves in the hole, to be honest, because they didn't play that well. I expected much more from Josh Allen. It just felt like he was just throwing the ball to throw the ball.
Yeah,
so if they would have played their game.
He's expecting them that they're down there somewhere, and that's what I felt from Josh Allen. That
first
game.
quarter felt definitely like that.
Yeah.
And then Josh Allen, the final drive, one of the final drives of the game, the Bills had a chance to win the game. As much as I hate the Chiefs, you have to acknowledge that the Bills were in a position to win the game or tie the game up. I can't think right now, but they had a chance to change the outcome of that game, and the offense failed, and they couldn't get it done. So enough of the ref talk for this game. This was sort of also on the Bills' offense and play calling.
Agreed. So this, after all these playoff games, it sets up a rematch of Super Bowl 57. For Super Bowl 59 will be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. For my prediction of this game, I think the Chiefs win this game. I think you have to take them. I think their playoff experience, I think the three-peat will happen. Even though I don't want it to happen, I'll be rooting for the Eagles, but it's really hard to bet against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I think it'll be low scoring due to the Eagles' very good defense. And the Chiefs are going to try all their might to stop Saquon Barkley or Chris Jones. Was a dog too. Don't forget Chris Jones. He's a very good player in that Chiefs defense. And I think the final score will be Chiefs win 24-21.
I think this is a revenge game for Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I feel like there's fire in their gut for the last Super Bowl 57, right?
The last time they played, yep.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a revenge game for them, and they're coming in there with like I said, fire. I feel like this is an Eagles win, 28-24, with a final winning drive by Jalen Hurts.
I just hope neither team wins. Honestly, I hate both. I especially hate the Chiefs, but in this one, I'm going to take the Eagles. I think I got them winning 31-28 off a game winner by Jake Elliott. That's also a name to watch, is Jake Elliott, because he's the Iceman.
He's been having a horrible season.
I don't
below average percentage-wise.
Yes, I don't care. I don't care. I still
Butker too.
Yes. Harrison. They've both been pretty garbage, but I'm going to say that Jake Elliott is like that more. I think that they get a game-winning field goal, and Jalen Hurts gets his first ring.
If this game is called fair, if the refs use all their common logic and brain cells, if they use everything they've been taught, the Eagles should win 31-21.
Yes.
The
Wow,
Chiefs,
I like that.
Win for you.
Eagles are better.
I like that. Yeah.
I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that. So that's it. That's our final takes for the NFL podcast. Thank you for watching. Go read all our sports stories in the sports section of Redwood Gigantea. And thank you for watching.
Bye.